guys, I'm back. So this clip is going to basically be about how I went about proceeding with, once I made the final decision to get VSG, how I went about doing it and what I did. So what happened was 2 years ago, I thought about it and it didn't happen. I didn't do it. I didn't fall through with it. And then about a year later, I thought about it again. And then I was like, skip it. So then maybe about sometime in the summer of 2017, I thought about it again. And I said, forget it. And then I thought about it again, like in September of 2017, which is one of the last times I did, normally toward the end of the year, not necessarily like the new year, but normally toward the end of the year, the latter part of the year, I always just look at my life and be like, oh, I don't want to go into the new year the same way I was left out. And I don't want to, I don't really like having resolutions. I more so just like to, do self-inventory and change things. So I have been on a mission to change my life for the better, do things differently than I've been doing them, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, health, like everything. I've just been trying to change those things. And when I looked at some things while doing self-inventory, a lot of the things that were in the way were me. If you allow yourself to do, if you do self-inventory and if you allow God to come in that process with you, you will see yourself, and, you have to be honest. And when I looked at some of the error, it was me. And so I had to work on me first. I've always been uplifting, inspirational, and, that's just who I am, a bubbly type person. And those type of people could still experience life-altering situations that create unhealthiness. And for me, it was food. And then I really necessarily didn't eat a lot. I just started eating a lot of the bad things and eating them at crazier times, and, not eating all day. And everything we do, we celebrate. Somebody get married, we eat. And somebody have a baby, we eat. And somebody say they outdo, we eat. And somebody die, we eat. And somebody puppy die, we eat. And like, just stuff be happening, and we just be eating. Like, that's how we celebrate. Oh, you graduated, we eat. And whatever it is, we're eating. And I just have a great appreciation for food, which I'm learning to control and not allow it to control me. So I decided in September 2017, you know what, like, I'm done. I really want this change, and I got some things that I need to do in my life, and I can't keep being the cause and the cure, because really people look around like, oh, so this person, that person, a lot of the stuff, whatever the cause is, sometimes it's the cure. And in my case, for some instances in my life, I was the cause and the cure. And my weight was holding me back in a lot of ways. So what I did was I called my insurance company on September 5th to enroll in the program. I have United Healthcare Choice Plus. That is the insurance that I have. So I called, and then they scheduled a phone conference with me. The phone interview was on October 14th of 2017. And that was a phone interview with the nurse. At that point, the nurse called me. She asked me some questions about my name, my date of birth, where I live, and verify my insurance information. Then she began to ask me things about myself, certain ailments that I have, asking me that I have, high blood pressure. Do you have diabetes? Do you have whatever? Just basically wanting to know anything that I had, anything that was wrong with me health-wise, and ask your weight and blah, 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 blah. Questions like that. So then once that happened, she says, I'm going to set you up with, no, let me go back. When I called the insurance, they actually asked me those questions on the 5th of September. And then on the 14th of October, that was when my nurse case manager called me. Like, the nurse who was going to be over my case to make sure that I got all my paperwork done, all of my testing done. And she'll be the nurse to call me and check on me, to see how everything went with the, whoever I chose. It had to be someone in network. They gave me options to choose from Temple, Abington, and somewhere else. I chose Abington. I chose Abington. So what happened was, once the nurse case manager called me on October 14th, they then allow you to choose from who's a network. And I chose. Once you choose, you have to then let them know, and then you have to just contact whoever you choose. Then at that point, you're following the guidelines that doctor or that surgeon's practice wants you to follow, which normally the guidelines are the same as what the insurance would want. So I talked to the surgeon's office that I chose, and they did a phone interview with me too. And I don't remember the date of that phone interview, but they did a phone interview with me too. And during the phone interview with the nurse case manager and the office manager at the surgeon's office, they both just went over the guidelines with me that I had to have a 6-month nutritional program to be on prior to my surgery being done, that I had to have a psych eval, that I had to have blood work done, that I had to have my stool and urine tested, had to have chest x-ray, abdominal x-ray, had to have the EGD, and any other additional testing that would be required based off of them looking at me in general. But those things were things that had to be done. So I began my testing actually in November of 2017. And my testing was not completed, I don't think, until January of 2018. It is a lot of testing. A lot of times, some of my testing, I would not work or, work part days thinking or take off because I was going to have the surgery. But sometimes the weather got in the way of that and it had to be pushed back. And sometimes certain things they only do on certain days. Seeing the nutritionist, that wasn't a long time, but that's a great part of it or whatever. So, and you have to do that. You have to see the nutritionist 6 times, consecutive. Like it has to be 1 month apart. Like you can't go to see the nutritionist like 3 times in a month to speed the process up. Like that's not going to happen. You have to have 6 different individual visits to see the nutritionist, which normally is a 6-month period time. So once I had all my testing and everything done, they approved it. Basically, they called them and they approved it. They called me and told me, and I'm going to put a picture up of me getting my letter. I actually had maybe 2 or 3 phone calls that confirmed that I was approved, and then the second and third phone calls were the calls that confirmed the date of my surgery, which is going to be March 6th of 2018, and today is February 7th of 2018. And guess what? On Sunday, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Y'all better do that. Listen, this is a year for all the winners. Have you been counted out before? This is your season. Sorry for that little insert. So they basically told me that. So going through, just before I speed up, I don't want to make it seem like it's easy. Going to the nutritionist, like I'm going to tell you, I went to see the nutritionist and I was talking to her, and, she was like, cook more, make sure you cook more, eat out way less, pick up stuff real fast, because I'm staying on my feet all day. So when I work, by the time I get off work, if I haven't already cooked, I don't feel like cooking when I get home. So it's just simpler and easier to pick up something. So she advised that, portions, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I told her, when I went back to her, you have to write down a log, like what have you eaten, and the process that you haven't seen her. And normally they like to do like a 7-day, like in a row, consecutive day type of thing, like what you ate. So I'm breaking down stuff to her, telling her what I ate, told her, how I made Alfredo, and I had asparagus with mine, and one night I had broccoli with it, and how I made the kids, string beans, and my husband string beans are just because they don't eat the broccoli and asparagus. And she was, what she said to me? She was like, do you know how many calories are in that Alfredo? And she was right. But let me tell you something. I was like, no, she didn't. Like, just kill my joy. Like, I'm coming into this thing thinking, I've made some change because I cooked every day. Like, there was no eating out. That was a thing. We're not eating out. We made that a thing. And I was like, she just straight killed my joy. And anyway, she and I ended up hitting it off good. It actually got to the point where our conversations were so redundant. She was like, what else do you want to know? What else can I help you with? And because a lot of things I didn't know, because prior to me having taken this process, taking this journey, when I used to work out 2 years ago, consistently 3 and 4 or 5 days a week, I was seeing a nutritionist then. And so I meal prepped like crazy, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I had some intel on some things, and has some direction or whatever already. So she basically just, help me with that. I'm sorry that this video was like already 10 minutes in, but I want to try to cram in the logistics, because videos from here on out will definitely be more about me sharing the process, like step by step, like where I am today and what am I doing right now. Okay, so I got approved for the surgery. It's March 6th of 2018. My pre-op date is going to be on February 19th of 2018. And basically that day I'm going to see the nutritionist early that morning. And then I'm going to be in a class later on that afternoon for like 2 or 3 hours. And like more like a support group. But I'll be in that class. Excuse me, how rude is me? For like 2 or 3 hours. And then a week before my surgery, I'll have to do a liquid diet. I have to do like protein shakes and applesauce and stuff like that. The purpose of that is to shrink my liver. So what I'm doing now from here until then is I have been doing toning my muscles, because muscle mass is something that goes away fast because of losing weight. This is not an easy quick fix. Like, you got work to do. Like, if you don't eat what you're supposed to eat, you still got to eat, right? And you have to work out. Now, do some people not work out and they lose weight? Yeah, they do, but I'm not doing that. So the eating part, though, you have to make sure that you follow the guidelines of the phases so you don't get yourself sick. And so it's not all for nothing, and you just, don't lose weight, or you stall very badly and plateau. So basically that's kind of like it. And I'm excited to do this. I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited for what's going to be. And I'm going to basically just give you guys everything. Give you guys as much as I can in terms of those who want to, because normally people who want to be helped, they will. And basically that's what I want to do. And I'm eager and excited to be able to, to work out and to start my meal prepping again, and help, show example to my children. Like, I want to live longer. Heart disease runs on one side of my family, and I don't want to be diabetic. My grandmother had diabetes, and I have other family members who have diabetes and had to have, limbs and stuff cut off. Like, I am like 2 cheeseburgers away. And this is not a fix, like a quick fix. It is going to be something that is going to have to take place, not just for the physical part, but mentally, and mentally I'm prepared. So I want you guys to ride along with me, okay? I want you guys to ride along with me and enjoy this journey. I'm going to insert some photos so you guys can see the transitions that I've made on my own. And, that's pretty much it.